Never try to be better than someone else. Always learn from others. And never cease trying to be the best you could be. That's under your control.
Anybody can be a coach, and a good coach can coach anything.
This kid's going to be the best kid in the world. This kid's going to be somebody better than anybody ever knew.
The mindset of a coach can belong to anyone.
And when you get to the point where all you want to do is be successful, as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. Pain is temporary.
They ask me why I teach, and I reply, where could I find such splendid company?
Hey guys, and welcome to episode 17 of the Coaching Mindset podcast. I'm Liam O'Neill, and I'm just about to make a call to Gary, who has went on his travels once again. So Gary, what are you up to and where are you?
Hi Liam, hi guys. I am currently in England, just outside Birmingham. We were training up at Lilleshall with the Northern Ireland under-19 squad. So again, I do the sports science, strength and conditioning work with them, which involves just a lot. Some of the things like taking their pee samples, urine samples in the morning, taking their urine or their wellness reports. We see obviously how they're feeling, if they're hydrated enough. Just checking on your nutrition, make sure they're getting enough of that. I would take the warm-ups, work along with the physio, the doctor, just make sure the guys are prepared as best they can to go and play. So, yeah.
So if I ring the airport whenever you're coming back and tell them that you look a bit dodgy, they'll search you and find you with a load of urine samples. Is that what I've learned from this?
Well, I don't freeze these ones, like, so I can just pour them out once they're done. But yeah, no, look, it's something I've been lucky enough to be involved with for a few years now, and it's been really, really good. It's also a good test for me in my own business too, because I have some fantastic people carrying on my program, so the likes of my classes and all my core kids stuff that's coming. So a shout out to all the coaches who are heavily involved with that. So yeah, it's all busy, but it's all very good.
Brilliant.
This week, yourself, Liam, what have you been at?
I spent the weekend. I went up to hang out with a couple of my mates that do the stunt work for Game of Thrones. So just chatting about the mindset of just getting in and jumping off a tall building or doing whatever you want. And Troy said something that I really liked, was that as a stuntman, what you do is you turn people's imagination into reality, which I really like, because I think it fits with what we're talking about all the time, that you can imagine whatever you want and then just work towards it. And then on Tuesday, I built up all weekend, and then Tuesday I launched my book finally. We've been talking about it for ages, but it's finally launched now. So I'm real happy about that. The launch went well, the build up went well, and everyone so far that's purchased it, I'm really appreciative, and all the feedback has been great so far. So anyone that has it, wants to give me feedback, just throw it on. Anyone that doesn't have it, you should go on my website, Limitation is a Mirage, or proveitguy.com, and purchase it. It's not expensive. Yeah, so that's what I've been at.
Brilliant, yeah, and I'll second that. I had the pleasure of getting my own signed one from yourself, which was great.
Early copy.
Yeah, and no, brilliant read, I have to say, mate. It was absolutely fantastic, and I've actually used a lot of the stuff already.
Brilliant.
And so it's been really, really good. I highly recommend it, and I will be recommending it and giving it to a few people as well. So well done on that. That's good. So I think that's us.
Yeah.
If we could introduce now our next guest, who you'll have the pleasure of listening to, and it's Sean Conway from Fear the Turtle. Sean's a brilliant story and you'll hear more about his doing 30 triathlons in 30 days. So great story, another inspirational story, and something hopefully everybody can take from.
Brilliant. So everyone just sit back, relax, and enjoy it, and let us know if you have any feedback at the end. Thank you. Hey guys, and welcome to episode 17 of the Coaching Mindset podcast. I'm Liam O'Neill.
And I'm Gary Wallace, and we have the pleasure of Sean Conway joining us for this one. So Sean, would you like to introduce yourself to the listeners and tell us a bit about your wee company there?
Thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, I'm Sean Conway, and I am from Anazoni, certified triathlon coach, and I coach and have the business of Fear the Turtle Triathlon Coaching.
Nice. And what does Fear the Turtle? What do you do, or what's your whole purpose?
I suppose the purpose was really triathlon training, but it sort of started from a bit of a joke. Myself and a friend went to Rome to do the Rome Marathon off the back of 10k, and just got lumped in, and we were sort of following an older gentleman, shall we say, for most of it, and he kicked our ass for the whole way around. He was a German lad. Turned out he was an ultra runner, and he had Fear the Turtle in German in the back of his t-shirt. So he explained it all to us from then. That's about 7 or 8 years ago at that stage, and everything sort of stuck from then.
Whenever you say from the back of 10k, for people that don't understand, that means you were training for a 10k, and then you went from that to how many miles is that?
So from just about 10k and sort of still being out of breath to going to 42.5k.
Nice.
So it was just a bit of a
how did you find that?
Challenging.
Yeah. But doable.
Yeah, very doable.
But doable.
Yeah.
Good. I think
Gary's saying that because a couple of weeks ago he's claimed that's what he's going to do.
I was going to do something. I'm with this probably the same mindset there, Sean. That I myself personally could go and do a marathon now. I'm not going to smash any time, but I'm going to go and do it. But why not challenge myself mentally to go and do an ultra marathon or do something that I'm going to have to go right here, mind, start working right here, and let's get through this.
Well, it's only one foot in front of the other anyway, and running's just a bit quicker than walking. So as long as you can do that, you can do a marathon or any distance.
Yes, good. And so with Fear the Turtle, what's your whole purpose, or what's your philosophy and your coaching, or why did you start it up?
The coaching side of it and sort of getting into the sport of triathlon came about from having a bit of a blip at Christmas. My heart sort of didn't want to tick-tock the way it went, and it just went tick and pause for a bit. My background was motocross and motorbikes, and having that sort of illness sort of knocked that on the head, got into the sport of triathlon just for a bit of crack with a few friends, and it sort of snowballed from there, from a super sprint up to half iron and everything in between. And that's sort of the philosophy of it. Really came about from the coaching side of it anyway, came about from just wanting to offer something that was a bit unique to Fermanagh. There is no tri coach there, seen a gap in the market, went for it, and it's been going pretty well so far. Trainings, I wanted it to be as affordable and as widespread and sort of capture as many people as possible. So sessions are £1 a session most of the day. £1 a session, you couldn't get better value than that. But
walk out of Poundland with a coach. Pick up this tri coach here.
But yeah, that's essentially the mentality that I wanted. That you don't need a massive background. You don't need anything like that there. As long as you've got the right attitude to come to training and you're willing to apply yourself, any sport, doesn't matter what it is, you'll get stuck in and you'll do well at it.
So yours is open to, I know you've basically just said it, but it's open to everyone. Like, you will take anybody and turn them into triathlete.
Yeah. Most people float, so that's a good start.
Right.
Most people can put one foot in front of the other. That's an even better start.
Yeah.
And cycling's just making the legs go round. So as long as you can do that at a basic level, we can take you further.
Brilliant.
Good. And then you say you would encourage everybody to do it, and there's no limitations. I would find my sister and a few other people do it. It's the affordability maybe of some of the other equipment. So you're kind of taking that away from them, saying, look, it might cost you a bit to buy, you invest in your wetsuit or whatever. And I know some of them go mad for their watches and they go crazy. The bikes are ridiculous amount of money. So you could have all this fancy equipment, but you might not know how to use it. Whereas you're saying, right, well, look, if you invest in equipment, invest in me as a coach, but as a person too. Is that what you're trying to do? Trying to inspire them?
100%. In triathlon or any sort of sport like that, you're the engine, and if you're not fueling the engine properly or getting it right from the off, doesn't matter what equipment you've got, if you can't pedal it, it's not going to go any quicker. Yeah, so that's sort of the mentality I wanted, to put a good solid foundation in there where people were getting taught instead of just being explained things to, and that you can take stuff away, do it, essentially getting homework, do it at home, bring it forward and put it on the table sort of next time around.
Good. That's a brilliant thing, the equipment thing, because you would notice that in any gym, like, people come in with real fancy gear and fancy shoes and these do that and this, and then you're like, Unless they're motorised shoes, like you still have to, you still have to do the work.
Yeah.
So
that barbell's not going to lift itself with a pair of fancy shoes.
Yeah, pick it up, pick it up. And you also did an amazing challenge. You did the 30-30. Do you want to explain to people what the 30-30 was?
So the 30-30 came about from sort of a daft idea that I had back in December 2016 at this stage now. The 30-30 turned out to be 30 triathlons in 30 consecutive days, but being a bit stupid, I messed up the numbers and done 32 days consecutive, because I forgot that July and August have 31 days in them.
Nice.
And didn't count the day that was starting, so it turned out to be 32 days. And it was a bit anal on things. I didn't want to end up on an odd number. So the last day was an Olympic distance, so 1.5k swim, 40k cycle, and a 10k run, just so that it was even numbers.
Wow.
Going forward.
Where did you do this? Is it in the same place, or did you travel about and do it, or what?
Pretty much we tried to keep it local. There was 2 charities that we done it for, Ellie's Retreat and the Arc Centre, so they were Fermanagh-based charities that offer services up and down the breadth of Ireland, really. So Ellie's Retreat was sort of set up in memory of Ellie Nicholl. She was a young girl, died at about 9 or 10 years of age with HABC, which is a motor
Yes.
brain disease, and she passed away, and her parents set up this wee retreat where other families that suffered a bereavement could come. So that really ticked the boxes for me. It was local, it was just getting set up, much the same as myself at the time, and I just knew that every penny that they were getting was going into the charity, and the same as the Arc Centre, really. They were set up as sort of something similar to help people with addictions and just different things, and everything sort of struck a chord that, there's nobody that's not affected by sort of addictions or anything like that, or cancer or anything. So that's where the whole sort of thing came about.
That's a good story. And it was Ellie, is she based in Irvinstown? Is that where they're from?
They were based there. Listen, so it's just outside Enniskillen, Co direction. That's where they were based. So the retreat was based down in Castle Archdale. So we tried to centre as many of the triathlons as we could down there.
No, it's good. It's just because I remember coaching the little girl too in Enniskillen, and it was touching. She had passed away then too, around the same age, and it's that connection. But even herself, when she came into my coaching classes, she used to go to Belfast. She used to get chemo, and she used to come to my class, and she always was smiling. And it was like infection, the infection just about her smile, her way of going. It's just amazing, especially kids, and to do something what you did, to give back to a charity like that was phenomenal, really. Well,
it was a unique challenge for sort of 2 unique charities, and that's sort of what we based it on. We got fantastic support from everybody, and even the total we raised was £6,060, which worked out at £3,030 for each charity, and the title of the event was 30-30, so you couldn't, it sort of fell into place, like, really.
And when you were doing the challenges yourself, what challenges did you come across?
Just the mental side of it, really, just staying focused. We done the events, the triathlon, around work commitments. So it was either really early in the morning, or late in the evening. And the Manor House sort of helped me out there. Decky down there sort of opened up or closed late for me to accommodate that. Everything else was done in Castle Archdale or down in Cash, and we had a great group of runners down there from the North Fermanagh Fitness Club. They got involved, and then we just done a few select sort of other national series events. So we done the Oma Tri clubs, Try the Lough, Ballyshannon, just a few other ones that dotted around the country, just to break it up. That it was.
Did people join you each day? Like, did you have people sort of supporting you or getting in the water with you, or just
quite a few people? Yeah, a lot of people at the start. People thought I was mad and hadn't a clue what we were setting up. But as sort of the days progressed, more and more people got involved, and we had UTV down there. So thank you to Gareth for getting stuck in at that stage. It wasn't easy trying to manage about 50 people running. But yeah, it was pretty cool to have that. That was something that was new to me. But the water was lovely. Cycling, not always, but it wasn't really down to me, really. It was down to the charities and sort of getting it across the line for them all the time.
Nice. And you had that focus the whole time, and you mentioned there too, mindset, especially, you know, I play a lot of team sports, and obviously mindset's a big part of it, but you know you've got your backing from the team, but when you're in triathlon or you're on your own.
Yeah, you know? Well, doing it, you're on your own. There's nobody going to get you across the line, but there was a ton of people behind me, from family and friends, that were doing the timing, food stops, breakdowns, mechanicals, anything that I wanted. It was like being a professional triathlete for a month. Nice. It was deadly.
Except you had to do the work as well.
Yeah.
But are you sure you can't keep rubbing my feet?
Yeah, she could keep running with shins. That'd be great. But we lost about 24 kg in 30 days. So we actually had to put on weight before we could start. So I was fit before I could do it, and then I was back down to normal. So that was the eating side of it was the biggest challenge, because we were consuming 5,000 and 6,000 calories a day.
And physically as well too, not only the weight, but you sustained an injury from it, did you, as well too? Yeah, you just it's destroyed the body.
Yeah, it's still ticking along. Shin splints was the biggest thing for me. Just the mileage, not getting any rest, just not being able to give it the time to heal, and knowing that, particularly from a Sunday to a Monday, there was very little hours difference rest, so you might get 10 hours rest, and that'd have been the height of it, and straight back into another sprint triathlon. And our times were fairly consistent. Our quickest was an hour and 11 minutes, and our slowest was 1:24. So we were happy enough for that the whole time.
What would an average, like if you took me, I don't run or swim or cycle, what would you reckon I could do that in? Like an average person, just to give us something to...
Most people are going to do it in the hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes, but it's really, you're only competing against yourself in the clock anyway. So as long as you think that you've put in 100% and you're happy with what you've done, time's sort of irrelevant. I was just going for a time because for it to be a record, really, nobody else in Ireland has done it.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to set it that somebody has to go and beat it now if they want the record.
I was just thinking if I did it, it would be about an hour and a half, you're saying, but I'm thinking of day 30 then. When I've added on another extra 5-6 hours, I'm just walking up the road going, no, I'm getting there. Swear. Doing a back paddle or a wee doggy paddle up the road.
As long as you're able to float the wetsuit and the lock's a great job.
That's good. And I think the thing with sport like triathlons or being involved in a club, it's that sense of community, and you probably felt that a lot. I know I did one event there with my tri club. We did a duathlon. It was over Christmas, and it was in the snow. Absolutely loved it. But again, it was that sense of, right, you're out there in your own, you know, you have your own mind, you go your own way, but at the end, we all sat around and had tea and scones. But the crack and the banter, and even before the event, like me and another guy, Decky Campbell, rocked up. Decky even forgot his helmet, left it at home. I said, oh, here's a helmet, or oh, you should run, oh, you should do it this way, or you should go this way. It's that sense of community, so it's not just an individual event.
No.
If you come to your sessions, it's that.
Yeah, it's community. The camaraderie. You know, it's the encouragement. It's a solo sport, and you're in it for yourself, but you're not by yourself. And I thought that sense of community, as you said, was great, and I enjoyed that from the very start. And it's sort of what encouraged me to keep going back to triathlon, and staying within. I was with the Oma Tri Club and staying within them, and then branching out and doing sort of more coaching sessions myself, sort of to encourage that same ethos of bringing people together. That's what I wanted, and sort of be as inclusive as possible. And, you know, as I was saying earlier, if you can put one foot in front of the other, you're essentially a runner. So what's the difference?
Yeah, no, that's good. And because we mentioned before, like, you haven't been doing triathlons for decades, but you're a coach now.
Yeah.
But you've got this philosophy that I want to make it affordable.
Yep.
I want you to come along. So, you know, I'll ask you this out. Have you had any haters as such to turn around and say, sure, what are you coaching for? What do you know?
All the time, you know, and there's always going to be people that are going to be negative to what you're doing if that's a different mindset than they have. But, you know, I don't have a bulletproof mindset, but I'm sure as hell going to put my best foot forward for the people that I'm coaching, offer them something that's unique, knowledge-based, personable, that they can take away and know, do you know what, that was a solid session, I learned something from it, I know what to do, I can change it, and I continue to change. And it's just offering that bit of continuous sort of support, network and enthusiasm for them to develop more than anything else.
So that would cross over then, I would imagine you'd be the same type of coaches that we would be, that it's not just that one. You're not the coach for that 1 hour and then you go home.
No.
Like you're approachable. Like your clients, your students, your friends, whatever they are, can contact you and say, "Here, I'm busted today and can't feel like tomorrow," and you're able to talk them around and work with.
100%. You're there's a lot of generic coaching, as you guys would know firsthand, and there's a lot of great marketing. But it's a case of stripping out the bullshit, getting down to the bare knuckles of it, and just offering that personability where the people can pick up the phone and go, "Do you know what? I'm knackered," and you'll go, "Okay, well today's a rest day," or you were set to do a certain amount of swims. Well, just plod along. If you've got the kids, bring the kids and just have a splash about with them. You know, it has to be, and you know yourselves, it has to be sort of flexible to work life and a certain lifestyle. You know, there's none of us really going to be going to the Olympics to do any of that stuff, and people have to get out of that mindset that, you know, it's the be all and end all to be at training to do this. There's no point being the fastest one at training if you're going to be knackered come the race day. You have to have a good balance.
And even the people know that they can contact you and they don't have to. It saves injuries. I notice whenever I'm approachable, my clients are able to tell me and say, "Look, I'm buckled. If we do a leg day today, this is going to kill me." Whereas whenever you see the clients that are working with trainers that aren't as approachable, you can see them like forcing themselves through the workout just because they don't want to let their trainer down, and their trainer hasn't noticed, and they're pushing because they don't understand the type of people they're working with.
Yeah.
So I think that's really important that you actually put that across as well, that you are approachable enough and easy enough to talk to, that they can talk to you about what's going on. Like you essentially become I think it's a good trainer, you nearly become their counsellor.
You do, you hear everything. If you want gossip, be a coach. It's true, that's the truth. But yeah, you know, you're their counsellor, you're their friend, you're the one that gives them a kick in the ass when they need it, and the hug when they need it too sometimes. And it's just about that continuous encouragement and just knowing that the finish line's never that far away, really.
I think that's a good point that you made too. Is it's the kick in the ass and the hug.
Yeah.
And you'll only know when to get that when you know the person.
Yeah.
So no matter what you coach, or even if you're a parent or your family members, you get to know the people around you. You get to know them really well, and then you can start making decisions. Rather, as you would mention, that maybe if they go and buy an online program, that it's typed in to their height, their weight, and their age, but they don't take in who that person is.
Yeah.
You know, are they a single parent? Have they got a young family at home?
Sure.
You know, do they work shift work at night? So do they have to change their training session? So whereas you can turn around and say, well, look, I understand the holistic approach of it. I understand everything, and it can come along. So it's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Plus you've been through. The thing about doing the 30-30 is no one can really complain going for it. You don't understand. This is wild hard. You're like, this is only day 3 in a week. I did 30 in a row. Just back to, I think, the 30-30. Whenever you were doing it, was there anything that came up? Was there any day you just woke up and you were like, this is, what am I at?
Actually, your brother-in-law, Eddie, was down at Ballyshannon.
Yes.
And I'd forgot my race belt. I was completely shot. I was tired the night before, and that day it was a blur really. And that evening I felt buzzing, and it was great. Come the Sunday morning, I was knackered again, and I really didn't want to get out of bed. And between Saturdays and Sundays, they're usually done at 11 o'clock. Fridays are usually in the evening, and just the whole body was dead really. And my mum came in. I was still living at home at the time, and she came in. She says, "Are you getting ready?" I was like, "Thanks very much." So down I went. Forgot my wetsuit, forgot my goggles, forgot my trainers. I had brought the boat, the canoe, everything was there, bar the essentials. And my mum raced down after me and gave it to me. So that sort of mental fatigue set in, as well as the physical fatigue. But after that, that was sort of my rock bottom day. And the highlight of it really was the nighttime triathlon that we done. We done it just before midnight, swimming in the loch, no lights, just the lights on the Jeep, lights on the cars just shining into the loch for us, and it was fantastic. It was nice. The best experience that I've ever had competing in anything.
Right. I think the good thing is you had a strong sense of why you were doing it. You know, you had a personal touch to the charities. You know, it was local. You had local support. You had local people behind you, and that, would you say, you know, if anybody is going to do a triathlon or anything, they're going to push themselves, have that why?
Yeah, 100%. You have to have a way of where you want to start, because that's ultimately going to determine whether you're going to see it through or stop. And that way has to be progressive. It can't be static either. You know, if it's to lose weight and you've lost, say, a pound, well, next week you want to lose another one and another one. And it's the same with running or cycling or swimming. It's either to get a wee bit quicker or to go a wee bit further. And just having that fuck it attitude and just getting on with it.
I know, because I would always say to even the clients that let your why scare you.
Yeah.
You know, why if people say to me, oh, I want to lose weight, I want to do this, and I'm going, yeah, okay, but whenever you go and reach the fridge and reach for that bar of chocolate or wherever you're going, is that way going to be good enough? Or they're just going to say they're opposite. Oh, fuck it, so what? It's only about a weight. Whereas I say, you know, if you have a young family, are you able going to play with them in 10 years' time?
Yeah.
You know, are you even going to be about for their life? Now, that's your why.
Yeah.
That's your why, obviously. And you had a strong one with the connection with the charity that, right, I'm going through this, but what are those families even going through, you know?
That was exactly what was going through my head the whole time. You know, that way for me was very personal, and the way for anybody else, as you know yourselves, has to be personal. It can't be somebody else's idea of what they want for you. You have to want it yourself.
Even to lose weight, why do you want to lose weight? Oh, my husband told me I should lose weight, or my doctor did. And you're like, it's not going to work. Like, if you don't, like, find a reason why did your doctor tell you? Because I'll die. Well, do you want to die? No.
And it really has to be as dramatic as that for a lot of people.
Yeah. And even I think whenever you do tell people that, they still go, they don't believe it. So, you know, when I say to people, look, go away. Here's 3 things I want you to write down, and I want you to take time thinking doing this, because that's going to be more benefit in the long run, rather than going, if I turn around to someone and say, well, you might not be able to play with, or you might not be here in 10 years time. No, I will. They don't actually let it sink in.
No.
You know, so it's getting that way, and once you have that, you know, you can achieve anything as such, really, in a calculated way. You know, you can.
Well, nothing is impossible. I know it's an Adidas slogan, but nothing is impossible. I believe it anyway. Whatever I wanted to do, as long as I knew and had a clear vision of what I wanted to do and why I wanted to do it, then there was very few people that was going to tell me different.
And would you? What would be your main advice? Probably everything we've touched on, but if someone said to you, I'm going to do a triathlon, but I can't swim, I can't do nothing, but I want to do it, or what would you say to them? How would you approach them or coach them?
Well, they've already said that they want to do it, so if they want to do it, that's a good enough way to start. And if they're speaking to me in the first place, then they do want to start. So it's just start off with the basics. If you can count to 3, you can essentially swim, and as long as you can float, you can essentially swim.
Yeah.
And I break it down as simple as that. Breathing every 3. If you get a stitch running, breathe 3, 5, 7, odd numbers. Everything's done in odd numbers for me. Just that it sort of distracts the mind a wee bit. And I find that helps a lot of people. Just give it a go. Why not? What have you got to lose?
I know. Do you always take it too that and we're back to that again? It's that personal touch.
Yeah.
You know, I know people who come along and I'll come to your class just kind of because you're there, Gary, at times, and you get that connection, you know, and it's the same. You can't get that online.
No. You turn up. I know in our Tuesdays and Thursday sessions, you have to be there before the class starts to get set up, to greet the people coming in, that they see that you're the first person they see. You give them a clap in the back. You know their names. Like, you make it personal. Like, I know we take coaching down at NFFC, and everybody that comes through the door, I want to remember their names and remember their faces and go, how did you get on, Jackie or Jane or Angel or, you know, Tara, and just...
Sounds like a gear fan there.
It is.
What time is this on?
7 o'clock. But yeah, no, and make it personable, and just know them, that you can make a better judgment for them going forward. And the more you learn from them and about them, then the better the coaching is for them in the long run. That it's not tailored, but certainly more designed for their needs and their goals and their body compositions, even in a lot of cases.
Even the injuries and stuff, you get to know them, but you get to know their wee niggles, and then you can see them walking in, and you can go, Like if I see Shane, if we go training, I can say to him, what's wrong with your hip again? Because you just know the walk of them. But again, it's because you make it personal and you want to interact with them on a higher level than just come swim, run and cycle or cycle run, whatever way triathlon.
Swim, cycle,
because we talked about it before, and it's building a culture. You know, any of the teams or whatever, you know, I work with, you want to build a sense of culture. You know, they want to have a reason for coming to you, but you want to have a reason for them staying with you.
Yeah.
And this is our philosophy. It's even when I'm doing with core kids, is why should we go to your class? Well, here's what we do. Here's why we do it. And actually, all our coaches are buying into this as well too.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to be the most experienced coach out there. My number one thing is, are you passionate about coaching kids?
Yeah.
If you're passionate for coaching kids, I can teach you the X's and O's as they call it.
Yeah.
But if you have a strong enough culture and they can fit into that culture, then you're gonna win.
Yeah.
So
hands down, you're gonna win every time.
Yeah.
Plus, again, you're saying, like I was thinking, whenever you were saying about the way when you're out doing the event, you're on your own, but you still have all that back, and that was the same when we were competing and fighting. You treat like whenever you go on, people always say, "Oh, it's a lonely sport." And you're like, only in the cage or in the ring, but once you get out, or even like in between rounds and stuff, you're surrounded by people that support you and want you to go, and they have, because they know you, they're able to give you the right fuel to keep going. So I know we're just going to keep touching back on that, but I think that's really important, that again, you're not there just to be like, look, I did 30-30. Like, we've had to repeatedly bring that up, so that you'll talk about it. Like, you're not doing that going, well, come to me, I did 30-30. I can coach you whatever you want.
But that's not my mentality
exactly.
to be brash about it. It's there for people to see. You know, Facebook's sort of a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Yeah.
But people can scroll through, see what we've done. I don't have to put my hand up and say, this is what I did. You'll see what we've done and what we're trying to continue to do.
Cool.
And I suppose to touch on the 30-30 a wee bit, like the mental side of it's probably as important, or maybe in certain circumstances more important than the physical aspect of it. If you go in there and you think that you're not going to be able to do it, you won't do it.
Yeah.
And that's your mind tricking your body, and it's just about tricking it to do the other. That if your feet are sore, if your shins are sore, if your knees are sore, your hips, whatever is sore, then you've only got another step to do. And break it down into steps. Every inch if you have to, but just break it down to manageable bite-sized pieces the whole time. And that's what I wanted to bring, particularly to my philosophy of coaching, is to break it down simple.
Nice, cool. And I suppose kind of we need to come to our end of our podcast here. So far, I think it's amazing. But like Shane, I think you're very modest in the fact of that what you've done, even in that 30-30, and for me, more importantly, why you've done it is very commendable. Like, it's fantastic. And
Thanks very much.
You're also still holding the war wounds from it as well too, like, which is really good.
Yeah, we're still getting them sorted, but we've the Cara 10 mile this Saturday, so that's off the back of 5k training, and we've a few hidden gems coming up later on in the year, some Olympic distance, some half iron distance, and some full distance. What part of the country and what part of the world they're going to be in, I just can't say at the minute. Really looking forward to what the year has.
You're not stopping. You're
going
higher.
Might as well go far in a long day than go far over a month.
And you're a big fan of audiobooks and listening, because you do a lot of travelling between different things. Like, what would you recommend, any books to listeners, or any?
The Brave Athlete and Calm the Fuck Down is a pretty good book. And on the flip side of that, Father Brian Darcy's book of the Golden Collection.
Collective listening here.
Collective listening. There's just so much to pull from it. Everybody can gain something from either book, and they're so adaptable to whatever your lifestyle is, whatever your chosen sport is, wherever you are in your own headspace. They can be adapted to whatever suits you.
Nice. What's really good is that you're doing audiobooks. A lot of people will say, I don't have time to read, but people are always in the car, even if you're just going to the shop. Like, even if you only listen 15 minutes a day, use that time. Like, that's where I listen to all my podcasts and audiobooks, is when I drive somewhere.
Yeah.
So using that time, however long it is, we'll get a book over. Maybe it'll take you a week to listen to a full book, or maybe longer.
Yeah.
But just knowing that you don't have to sit and read. Like, you can
Yeah,
body
and
of it.
sometimes when somebody's saying something, it just clicks that wee bit better,
Aye.
and you just get it, and you can nearly visualize what they're saying and have them sitting in front of you. A bit like listening to your podcast. You know, if something clicks with somebody listening to this, then they automatically know what they want to do rather than just trying to read it from a book sometimes.
They'll be able to hear your passion too when they're listening to this. They're going to hear when you speak about it, you open up and you light up about it. Whereas if that was just wrote,
Yeah, it doesn't have the same effect, I don't think.
No.
For me, anyway, it doesn't have the same effect.
There's a guy I remember hearing years ago that your car is like your own library. You know, if you can think of your journey as a learning experience, like that's the way. It's just a game mindset.
Yep.
So rather than going, oh my god, I have to drive to work. Whereas sometimes when people say, oh, I was working the other day in Korea, and I was like, I can't actually wait to get up now because I'm going to listen to this book on the way up. Again, just changing that mindset. You know, because some people could be driving to work for all the time. Well, it actually brings me to the next point too. You actually, again, trying to balance both. We talk about balancing. You're still working full time, is that correct? Yes.
Yeah, we still work in the family business, yeah.
And then you're doing the coaching aside. How do you find that? How do you balance that between everything around there, or what's the main drive for it?
Really, the coaching was just a passionate thing, something that started as a hobby and has really taken over. Or taken over, if you want the grammar police are listening.
Don't worry, I'm shocking.
But yeah,
so
and I think there's a lot of sort of mindset things that are transferable from sport to work and vice versa. You know, I used to take work home. I didn't switch off. You know, you were always worrying about it. Now I come home, work's not the last thing on my mind because I've got the coaching, I get the plans done. And I take a lot of enjoyment from that, seeing people develop, and then I'm able to close my eyes, go to sleep, and be pretty happy at that.
Nice.
And an understanding girlfriend at times.
Yeah, very picture there. But that's actually a really good point. That the fact that you know some people do find it really hard to switch off.
Yeah.
But you've taken something that was your passion, and you've actually that's your relaxation. Would that be right? It starts too.
Yeah, in an odd way it would be. Yeah. Something that started off as a hobby for a lot of people, I turned into sort of a wee business for myself, and you know it's a pound of sessions. I'm not going to be a millionaire from it, but I wanted it to be affordable for people. I wanted people to enjoy coming to training, no matter what your background is. Triathlon's not a privileged sport, or having access to a coach shouldn't be just a privilege for those that can afford it. And I try and give as much back as I can. Most of it's free, some of it's £1. It's not going to rob the bank, like.
And you mentioned before too that you do have online videos and stuff, but you get that content.
That's
free,
all free, yeah.
Correct,
all on the Fear the Turtle Triathlon Facebook page.
And what would you get? What's that content include? Or?
So broke it down to days. We have 5 days, which is deadly. We've Motivation Monday, so there's always a different message, different theme every Monday. Training Tip Tuesday, Workout Wednesday, Thank You Thursday, and Food Fact Friday. So we sort of split them up that even if you're not interested in triathlon, you can still gain something from it. So some people like to cook, so that's where Food Fact Friday comes, instead of just that it's more I enjoy a chippy, so you can have a healthy takeaway if you wanted. Thank You Thursday, I think it's always important to be grateful for what you have and give thanks to people that are sort of helping you or inspired you, or just to give that wee message out. Workout Wednesday, something that you can always do at home. I know for me anyway, I have a turbo trainer at home, and if I wanted to do a workout, I can run on the road or I can swim. I usually go to the lough, to be honest, but sort of simple workouts that you can do at home. Training Chip Tuesday, like a couple of weeks back, it was as simple as tying shoelaces properly. A lot of people didn't really know how to tie their running shoes properly. And then Motivation Monday, most people need a kick in the ass come Monday, or they're already driven to go back to the gym on a Monday. But I want to sort of extend that you're doing it 4 or 5 times a week.
Very good.
Right, that's brilliant.
Very good. And where's the best place then for people to get in contact with you?
Facebook probably. We're pretty quick at getting back. The phone's usually in the pocket all the time. And
what's that? That's
Fear the Turtle Triathlon Coaching. It's there.
We'll link everything in anyway, so we'll link it all so that people can easily find you.
Super.
Nice. And you're based now, where are you based in?
Just outside Enniskillen, just beside the Enniskillen airport, so we're not too far
Nice.
Tyrone doesn't have one of them, do they?
No, Tyrone doesn't have one of them. No, we've Sam Maguire, a few of them.
What about Carrickmore? That's
Carrickmore.
Is that an airport or landing strip?
same thing.
Yes, now don't you be bragging about Fermanagh only airport like.
I did a video.
Well, Fermanagh only try coach, so maybe I'll brag about something else.
Sitting beside Fermanagh, it's your profile picture. Sitting beside Fermanagh only.
Yeah.
I did a wee video in that airport one day, standing beside. No, there's a wee private airplane that just sits there. I did an angle that correct, so then people were texting like, "Did you get a private jet somewhere?" It's like, one of my gigs, you know.
Yeah.
I was going to Irvinstown.
Just landed here.
Nice. And to finish up, then, have you anything else you want to say to anybody, or to round it off about?
I suppose just if you have the idea of doing something, no matter how half cocked it is or whatever. Give it a rattle. See if it can stick. If it sticks and you still want to do it, carry on with it. If you want to get started. Don't let anybody else dictate to you what you should or shouldn't do. Nice. Really, that's sort of where my mentality sort of stands.
Brilliant.
Thanks very much, lads.
No problem. Well, no, it's been good. It's been great having you on board, and as well too, if you're on YouTube, you can see these. Sean, give us
neck warmers
to feel the turtle on them. So thank you for that too, Sean.
Have to get the branding out somehow.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go and rob a bank or a train or something now.
I should have brought my own.
You could think. But
you pull a hat down.
If we don't get caught by the police and we're still here, this podcast goes like the rest of them. We'll go out every Thursday at 6:00. And remember too, if you are on iTunes, please subscribe to us and give us a review, because like Sean's story and some of his advice there, we want it to reach as many people as we can. So once again, Sean, thank you very much from me.
And thank you from me.
And thank you from me.
Okay, bye bye.